Hey everybody, it's Austin Solomon and welcome to this week's episode of the Wausau Real Estate Show. Today we're talking about 3 approaches to moving from your current home to your next house. So whether you're downsizing or looking for your forever house or relocating to another area, if you own a home now and are looking to buy another, there's really 3 approaches that you have to consider. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each and help you decide which strategy is for you. So a lot of people think like, well, if they want to buy another house and they own one now, the first place is to just start looking at houses. But really, I would really dial in on, hey, which one of these 3 approaches are you going to use? And that's kind of the first step. So here's the 3 strategies. One would be to move into another place. So you're either buying a house or you're finding a rental. So you move first, and then you put your house up for sale to sell. Second strategy is to find another home, make an offer on it, and make that offer subject to your home selling. And then your third approach would be to first place your house for sale, get an accepted offer on it, and then focus on finding a home. So there's your 3 ways that you can make this relocation happen. We're going to talk about the pros and cons to each. So the first one, if you buy your first home or you buy your next home, or you find a place first and then you move, vacate your original home and then put that one up for sale, there's some pros and cons to that. One of the pros of that is it's not that stressful of a move, or I should say it's less stressful than some of the alternatives. You can move in your own time frame. There's not as many timelines and time frames that have to happen. Obviously, you have 2 places for a period of time, and so you can move in your own timing, which is nice. The second pro is that you can find the right place before you move. And again, you're not crunched to find a place. The third pro is that if you're looking to purchase another house, you can make a strong offer on that home. Obviously, the house that you're living in your home now, you're looking to buy another to move into. And if you don't have to sell your home in order to buy that one, that you're going to put yourself in a much better position when you're making that offer on the next place to secure it. Fourth pro would be that you can get completely. So again, if you buy that next house, you move into it, you can completely move out of your existing house, or maybe you just leave it staged. But either way, it's going to be much easier to get your house ready once, and then it can be shown without you having to prepare it every day. So very easy to show and easy to, prepare and maximize the sale price, because obviously, you're spending time on preparing the house and can spend a little extra time to make sure that it goes well. So the cons of this approach would be, the biggest one is that you could end up with 2 houses. So again, if you find that dream house or you find that next place, you move in and you're stuck with 2 houses and you put your house up for sale and it doesn't move, well, then you're stuck with 2 homes and there are some carrying costs associated to that. So that's really the biggest con on that approach. The second approach would be where, and we see this one a lot, is where you're in your house now, you're looking for another place, you go out and look for another house, and then when you find the right one, you make an offer on it and you tell the seller, hey, I'll buy your house as long as, our home sells, right? So this is called like a contingent offer. So it's contingent on your home selling. The pros to this is that, hey, you find the right home before you place yours for sale, so you're not going to end up homeless, and you don't have to worry about 2 mortgages, because you're only going to be buying that house if your home sells, right? The cons of this approach, and the biggest one, is in a competitive market, a lot of times that you might be looking for your forever house, and you go to the seller and say, hey, I love your house, I'll take it. Well, there might be some other parties interested that don't have to sell a house in order to buy that one. And when you say, hey, seller, I'll take it, I'll give you, full price, but I need to sell my house. Again, if there's other parties interested that don't have a home sale, it's going to be very difficult to secure that home. This is especially relevant if you're going from a higher price point and you're downsizing. So if you are, for example, making an offer on a $150,000 house subject to your $350,000 house selling, that really doesn't work very often because that $150,000 price point is more competitive than the 150. Or even if you're moving from a similar value, maybe you're going from a 150 to a 190. Again, when you make an offer on a house subject to your home selling, that contingency is concerning to the seller, and oftentimes it won't. If there's other parties that are interested, you won't end up with the house. And in order to compensate for that, the only thing you could really do if there are other people interested is you would have to increase your offer. So that's kind of the one thing you could do to offset that. So you might end up paying a little bit more than you should or than what you could have if you would have used one of the other approaches. And it might take a couple tries. Again, maybe some of the houses that you see have other people interested, and you have to give it a few tries if you're not getting the house. The second con to this method is, again, you find the house, you put your home up for sale, and you kind of scramble to list your home, trying to get it sold right away before someone else comes in. And because of that too, you might be tempted to take less on your home sale because you have something riding on your home selling, and that's you getting the next house. So you might be tempted to take a little bit less than what you could have using one of the other methods. And then the other con here, it is a little bit stressful. You are coordinating two moves. You're closing traditionally on both homes on the same date. So there is a little bit of stress involved in this method as well. The third approach would be to place your home for sale first, focus on getting an accepted offer on your house, and then focus on finding another home. The pros on this method is if you put your home for sale first, then you're really just your main goal from the gate is just to maximize the sale price of your house. And so that's nice that you can first maximize the sale price of your home, focus on that. In this method too, you don't have to worry about two mortgages, which is great. And the other pro is that when you're looking for a house, you can make a much stronger offer and get a better price. So if you get an accepted offer on your home, let's say that all the conditions are met, things are looking good, and now you're starting to search for homes. When you go and make an offer on the house, you can tell that seller like, hey, I do have a house that needs to close, but we already had an accepted offer on it. It's looking really solid. All the conditions are removed. And that's going to be a much better position to purchase when all those things are already lined up on your existing house, which can translate to you getting a better price in terms on the house that you buy. And then I guess the other pro would be that you have a higher chance of securing the house. Again, if your house that you're in now has an accepted offer, things are looking really solid on that purchase. When you find the right home, because you have already, your house is already looking solid and spoken for, you have a much better chance of securing the right place. The biggest con about this method is that, well, hey, if I put my house up for sale and I don't have a place to go, like what if I find something, what if I settle for something that's not the right fit? And that's the biggest con there. How you avert that con is you have enough time a really good time frame to find the right place. But that can create some stress. There is a lot of stress in that. So these are the three methods. The biggest thing is you have to decide what's right for you. The first thing you'd have to do is talk to a lender to see which options would allow. Obviously, if you financially can't have two homes at once, well, then the first, method is probably out. If you're looking to buy your house or your next house and keep your existing, if you can't financially do it, it's probably not the right fit. If you can, then you just have to understand like, hey, what's my risk tolerance for owning two homes and being stuck with potentially some extra, closing or holding costs. And that's where talking with a real estate agent can really help and give you the confidence that you need to make a good decision. Because a lot of times if you go and buy, you have two homes, if the real estate agent feels really confident that you're your first house is going to sell right away because it's a really good market, then maybe you do it and you can, again, make a stronger offer and focus on finding that right house owned too. So yeah, there's obviously some different options. The biggest thing is consult with your financial officer, your lender, to see which options are available, and then you talk with the real estate agent to see what's right for you. But it's definitely best to have a good, solid game plan and commit to one of these points before you even start the process, because then that way, you know what the expectations is, and the agent knows exactly what the game plan is. So if there's any questions on this relocation, I love relocation. And if there's any questions on this, on these approaches, feel free to reach out. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of the show. I really appreciate those people that are listening, and hopefully this is of value to you guys, and it can help you make good decisions in the real estate market. So thanks again.